This is YG-TV and the YG Stage, sponsored by Fleet Farm, Health Payment Systems, and Circle Electric. I'm your host, Andy Weins, president of GreenUp Solutions, here on set at Serendipity Labs in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. For more content shaking up the business industry, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Today, my good friend Derek Deprey is joining us here on the stage to give us 10 secrets to success from going from wanting to executing. He'll be on the stage in just a moment. Today, we welcome Derek Deprey of Move Results LLC and the author of Shift, Move from Frustrated to Fulfilled. Let's welcome him to the stage. Derek, how are we doing, brother?
I'm awesome. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So what are we talking about today?
We're going to talk about getting things done. There's so much motivation out there, podcasts, YouTube videos, speeches, but we're going to actually talk about doing something about all of that motivation.
So you're saying we're going to put ourselves in gear, not just shifting, but once we're in gear, let's take off.
Exactly.
All right, let's talk about execution, brother.
Thank you.
Fleet Farm has everything you need for every season of life. From tending the vegetable garden season to planting 100 acres of crops season. Fleet Farm is your one-stop shop, whether it's strawberry jam season, cook your walleye season, or his first set of wheels season. Fleet Farm is built for every season. Fleet Farm, built for real life.
For more than 80% of families, today's medical billing practices are confusing. At HPS, our goal is to improve the healthcare experience for the patient by making medical bill payments less stressful. In Wisconsin, that's all made possible by our comprehensive independent healthcare provider network. We simplify billing and lower costs for everyone involved in healthcare and offer various ways for individuals to pay without breaking the bank.
Circle Electric is a 35-year-old commercial, industrial, and healthcare electrical contractor with engineers and designers on staff, backed by the most technical and well-trained master and journeyman electricians. Whether it's an equipment move, new building, or commercial remodel, from pre-construction all the way through startup, primary power, branch power, or low-voltage systems, we're here to support you. Our 24/7 on-call service department is here to meet your electrical needs for our industrial and healthcare customers. You always hear safety first. We are safety always. Circle Electric will maintain electrical reliability for business continuity.
I remember it like it was yesterday. It was the spring of 2011, and I was in San Diego at a health and fitness conference, and I was watching a speaker named Patrick Lencioni, and he was speaking on the 5 dysfunctions of a team, which was one of his books. And I remember just having a moment, how cool is that? He's up there speaking on his book, and I want to write a book. So that whole time, I didn't listen to his speech anymore. I just started to think about, what do I want to write about? And the conference was ending, and I get back on the airplane. I start jotting down some notes. I had some bullet points. I had some diagrams. And I knew that I wanted to write on self-leadership. And within no time, I went from San Diego to Wisconsin. The snow was crazy, and then self-doubt kicked in. I wanted to write this book within 2 years. I was 31 when I had the idea, and I wanted to write the book by my 33rd birthday. Well, 2 years, as you know, goes by so quickly, and the self-doubt was telling me, you failed your ACT, you failed the reading and the writing portion of it, you crashed on stage when you're speaking in front of a group. And within no time, it was 2013. The goal was already missed. So what did I do? I tried to take a shortcut. I tried to hire a bunch of different ghostwriters. 2013, I went with an intern, and her schedule got too hectic, and she had to move right on, and that didn't work out. 2014, I decided to, of all things, go to Craigslist and try to find a ghostwriter. I'm guessing you can figure out how that one turned out. 2015, I was referred to a friend of mine, and unfortunately that didn't work out. The scope of the project was just too big. And I want you to just pause and just think for a moment. Where are you right now? And what do you want to accomplish? Here you are right now. And over here is what you want to accomplish. Is there a gap right now between what you're thinking and what you're actually doing? I missed a key moment in the middle of those ghostwriters in 2014. It was New Year's Eve, December 31st. And I started to troll Twitter, looking for some New Year's Eve inspiration. And I followed this author. His name is Kerry Oberbrunner. And he wrote a book called Day Job to Dream Job. And I followed him right away, and within a minute, he follows me right back. And then we start to go back and forth with some private messaging. We set up an appointment. And it's important to know what Kerry Oberbrunner does. Kerry is a collaborative publisher, which means he doesn't just publish books, but he actually coaches people along the journey to help them make their books become real. 6 days later, we have an appointment over the phone, and unfortunately, I turn it down. I don't take it. I don't invest $5,000 to go with his program. I said, sorry, I'm not interested right now. I'm going to delay until there's a better time for me. Where are you delaying right now? And if you don't know, I want you to ask yourself this question. What is the one thing you're putting off that's bothering you? It's haunting you. You knew the answer to that question before you even turned on this video today. What do you need to take action on? And I want to think about you. Where are you right now? This is you. This is your goal. And I want you to rate your progress right now on a scale of 1 to 7. 7 being you're there. 1 meaning you're maybe just thinking about it. And then I want you to ask yourself, what is holding you back from a higher rating? That's probably your obstacle. That's the thing that's standing right in the way between you and your ideal life. And today what I want to do is I want to put you on a system, on a path, and create that bridge to get you a lot closer to where you want to be. You fast forward 1 more year, and I finally committed to Author Academy Elite with Kerry Oberbrunner. And I had a book, but today has nothing to do with a book. Today is all about thinking about your goal and the habits and behaviors that I think that can work for you as well. Because I don't care where you are on that journey of 1 to 7. All I care about is what you're doing every single day. Is it putting you closer to that goal? So today's big goal is to do the most important things when you're already busy. But it's not about a goal, it's about the system. We're going to go through 10 gap-closing behaviors. And the first gap-closing behavior is do it afraid. I had a goal to play Division I college basketball. I had no business playing Division I college basketball. I was afraid. I wasn't recruited, so I was afraid to reach out to these Division I college coaches. So what I did is I just sat down, and at that time in the late 90s, there was no really a lot of email and anything like that. I couldn't just text people. I had to handwrite letters. So I handwrote every single Division I college coach in the country. I got a hit back from University of Wisconsin. Dick Bennett handwrote me right back. So I had a tryout with their assistant at the time. His name was Tony Bennett. Unfortunately, I didn't make the team. But after that, I'm like, okay, I can't play Division I basketball, so now I want to work in basketball. I want to work in the NBA level. So I went back to my chair and I started writing every single NBA head coach, every single NBA general manager. And I got a rejection letter. I got a rejection letter from tons of different teams. But you know what? I kept writing and writing and writing, and I finally got one team to say yes, and that was with the Milwaukee Bucks. Here's the point. Think about that one thing that you want to do afraid. What is that one thing you want to do afraid? Where would you be okay going 1 for 2 like I did? Or if you consider all those hand notes, 1 for 300, would it be worth it to you? Behavior number 2, set a deadline. I'm often asked, how in the world did you get into speaking? I'm going to flash back to 2008. And I was a general manager at the Wisconsin Athletic Club. And it was our corporate orientation, which we give every 3 months. And after one of the orientations, one of the owners brought us together and he said, unfortunately, Dan is going to be going and taking on a different role with a different company. Who wants to be the lead facilitator for our corporate orientation? And it was like crickets. Not one single general manager raised their hand to get in front of that group. something inside of me just raised my hand. And that's where I unintentionally set a deadline to do what scared me, which was getting up in front of a room just like this today. And then I came across a website. It's called futureme.org. Futureme.org. It's a website where you can email yourself goals into the future. So what I did when I was 75 days out, I had an email sent to me. Are you on track with your outline? 60 days out, are you on track with your PowerPoint slides? 45 days out, did you practice in front of a mirror? All the way up to that goal, and those deadlines and series of deadlines kept me on track. Think about the one thing you're putting off that's bothering you. What deadline or series of deadlines do you need to set to commit to action? Behavior number 3, commit to daily U-zones. This is all about focus. How do you laser focus? In 2014, my family and I were at a wedding, and my wife just said to me, I feel like we are your lowest priority when we went off to the side. And I was frustrated because you know what? What I understood there is I worked all the time, but my family doesn't care if I work all the time. They don't care if I work 80 hours a week. All they care about is my presence with them. And I took that moment in 2014, I started to fuse it together with a moment in 2004 when I interviewed for the Miami Heat for a video scouting position with their head coach named Eric Spoelstra. The interview didn't go so well because I didn't get the job, but I remember he said, do you have any questions, Derek? And I said, yeah, I have one question. What is your most powerful tool for success? And he said, I believe in 8-day weeks. I said, wow, can you tell me more? He said, I get up earlier than everybody else. So my day, my week feels longer. My week feels like 8 days. So I started to put that moment together with my family and with Eric, and I'm like, I have to develop my own routine so that I'm not ripping away time from them when I really need to be with them. And that's where I developed the daily U-zone. At 5 a.m., I'm going to bring you right to my U-zone. At 5 a.m., I'm the first one that walks into Starbucks. I order that black coffee. I sit down, fire up my laptop. I put in my music and my headphones, and I get all jazzed up and I start dancing when Paula Abdul in the 80s come on. I wish all my friends happy birthday on Facebook. I read 2 to 3 articles a day just to get me going, get my energy, get warming up a little bit. I plan the next day. That takes 30 minutes. And then the last thing I do, which is the most important, I go laser focused and deep in the biggest project that I'm working on that week, that month, that year. You see, the U-zone is all about playing the long game, not the short game. The short game says I'm not going to do my homework today because I don't see myself getting an A tomorrow. The short game says I'm not going to save $1 today because I don't see it turning into $1 million tomorrow. The long game is different. The long game is I'm going to eat healthier today and I'm going to lift weights to be stronger today so that I can be stronger and be healthier in the long run. So thinking about your goal, being mindful of your deadline, what should your daily U-zone consist of so that you can actually achieve what you desire? Behavior number 4, we're closing the gap, is discovering your 60Xer project. And I ask you, what is the project you want to accomplish? Where do you ultimately want to be? If you remember the movie City Slickers, they asked, what's the secret to life? And the answer is, it's one thing. But it's one thing that only you can discover. If you know anything about Frisbee golf, the best disc throwers are not looking at the whole set. They're not looking at all the chain links. They're looking at one chain link. They're laser focused on that one thing. What is your one thing? Google has this awesome piece. It's called Google's Ingram Viewer. And it takes all the books from the year 1500 all the way to 2008, and it throws all the words from those books right into the system. And you're able to look at the frequency of every single word in any book from that span. And what I found is the word priorities was not used until 1940. The word multitasking was not used until 1960. So from 1500 to 1940, we were laser focused and in the zone with one thing. That is what a 60Xer is. It will give you 60 times return on a 60-minute U-zone session. What is it for you? It's about consistency over intensity. So every single day for me to write a book, I started in the same place as everybody else. I didn't have a book. But my deadline, when I finally said it, was 90 days, and you work backwards. So if I write 500 words a day for 60 minutes, that turns into 45,000 words and a book over the course of 90 days. That's a 60Xer, and the impact is you're in flow every single day. What you're in flow is you're feeling your best, you're performing your best, you're in this river of flow where the drainers are on the banks, but you're energized and in flow when you're writing and when you're creating. So in the next few months, what project has the potential of giving you 60 times return from a 60-minute daily U-zone? Behavior number 5, scheduling your to-dos. For anything like me, you have a to-do list, right? But how many of you have a not-to-do list? You're thinking of your goal, and then look at your to-do list or your calendar and what's in it. Is it like a game of whack-a-mole where you knock one thing down and then 2 more things pop right back up again? My challenge for you is to move from a to-do list and move into scheduling your to-dos. You put that U-zone, you put your workout, you put all that in there every single day, so your day's already set. You don't even have to think about it. I call them recurring meetings for yourself, not recurring meetings with other people. Because when I just see 5 things on a calendar, I feel a lot less overwhelmed than when I see 500 things on a to-do list. It puts my life back in alignment. Behavior number 6, say no. We talked about that. We have a to-do list, but how many of you have not to-do lists? A lot of people put their hands right down because we're people pleasers. We have a fear of missing out. You want to go deep in YouTube for your business. Oh, somebody tells you to go deep in Facebook. Oh, somebody tells you to go deep in Instagram. Oh, somebody goes deep in Instagram TV. And then there's TikTok, and we're all over the place. We run right down that rabbit hole so quickly all the time. We have to say no. Thinking about a lion tamer. When a lion tamer holds up this at a lion, when the lion sees all 4 legs, the lion completely freezes. It's no different than my life. When I see 4 to 5, 6 things coming at me all at once, I freeze. And we do nothing. We do those little tasks every single day, and then you go to bed at night, not even doing your deepest project every single day. And that's why when you watch the Kentucky Derby, those horses wear those weird things on their heads. The secret is in the blinders. When you have the blinders on, you can laser focus on that 60Xer, that one project that's going to get you to where you want to go. Because if you don't, you might live with one of life's greatest regrets. The people that are dying, one of the greatest regrets is, I wish I would have had the courage to live a life true to myself, not what others expected me to do. And it starts with a say yes list. What is your say yes list? Say yes to your values, your passions, your goals. Say yes to focusing on those things, because once you say yes to those things, then you can start a say no list. Then you can start a quit list. For me, I gave up TV, basketball, other people's opinions of me, news, worry. Think about it. If you worry for just 1 hour a day, for 365 days, you just wasted 365 hours worrying. Most successful people are masters at eliminating the unnecessary. If you struggle to say no, ask yourself, will you even care about it next year? If not, don't do it. Just gaining 2 hours back per week can give you 100 hours of deep work. What could you get done in those 100 hours? Behavior number 7, try new things. It's so important to say no to things, to do deep work, but you got to still try things because we don't know what's going to be relevant into the future. For me, I tried working at a factory. I tried selling beer. I tried working for the Milwaukee Brewers in the concession department. I tried selling a nutrition product. I did all these things and I missed all the time. So many people don't try things because they're afraid they won't like it. But my question back, what if you do like it? For me, I didn't read a book until I was 28 years old. And when I finally started reading a book, it was a book on leadership, I actually liked reading. I froze in front of stages and I hated speaking, but I tried it. I got back up again, and then you can make another shot. Jeff Bezos with Amazon. He was the vice president of a hedge fund company. If he didn't try something new, Amazon wouldn't even be here today. So what do you want to try? And what is the next step that can make it a reality? Behavior number 8, start consuming now. So horizontally, right, it's trying new things, but now where do you want to go deep in? What skill do you want to develop? Thinking about these 6 professions, I want you to think about what they have in common. An app developer, social media manager, driverless car engineer, cloud computing specialist, big data scientist, YouTube content creator. Not one of those jobs was here before the year 2000. Somebody mastered a skill, somebody went deep, but you're thinking, I don't know how. Have you heard of Google before? There's literally a website, www.lmgtfy.com. Let me Google that for you. If an 8-year-old kid, and this is real, if an 8-year-old kid is craving greasy fries and a burger, he can go on YouTube and learn how to drive to McDonald's and make that a reality. We don't know what skills will be relevant 5, 10, 20 years from now. I want you to switch from what is my title to what are my skills. When you ask yourself, what are your skills, you might have to pivot and try something different and go deep in that area so you can get to that goal that you desire. Behavior number 9, mentor up. Everything so far is about leading yourself, but don't lead yourself by yourself. Think of your top 3 to 5 list. What are the top 3 to 5 skills that you want to develop? And then start matching people to skills, people to skills. Think about your top goals. What skills do you need to achieve those goals? Who can help you gain those skills? Try to think of a different person for every single goal. It's like a board of mentors. And then when you look at that 3 to 5 list, what is the one skill that you want to gain most? Reach out to that person immediately. Behavior number 10, recharge your battery. You ever feel behind, exhausted, stressed? Don't take time to think. Impatient, irritable. Don't take time to work out. You feel frustrated. If you do, that's normal. 80% of people are stressed or burned out. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to get up early and work on a U-zone. It's hard to work all day. It's hard to exercise. It's hard to be an Uber driver at night for your kids. For that reason, we got to stop overlooking our biggest leadership challenge, which is ourselves. And my favorite way to recharge my battery, it's not vacation. Vacation's a Band-Aid. It's recharging every single day. It's an acronym called the FEWS. F-E-W-S. Every single day, plan your healthy food, plan your exercise, plan your water, and don't overlook the importance of planning your sleep. Don't make the mistake of doing the first 9 gap-closing behaviors and then forget the most important thing, which is managing yourself and your energy. What do you need to do to recharge and recover every single day? So we did it. The system, the 10 gap-closing behaviors to help you get to your ultimate goal. Why? Why are we doing this? So that you can take action, so that you can actually do the most important things when you're busy. What if I'm the last speaker you ever listened to? You see, the self-help industry is a $10 billion plus industry. If I'm the last speaker you ever listened to, who's it on to take action? You know exactly what to do. You don't need more motivation. You need more execution. You don't need more thinking. You need more doing. 1 year will fly by whether you like it or not. Where are you going to be 1 year from now? Again, I ask you, what is the one thing you're putting off that's bothering you? And what is the one action that you need to take today? If you're struggling with that action, I'm going to narrow it down to just 3 things. Answer the question, what is the one thing you're putting off that's bothering you? 2, schedule those small actions tonight. And 3, commit to your schedule for at least 90 days. When I was a kid, I was on stages, but not like this. I'm from Manitowoc, Wisconsin, and we would go to some different concerts, and they would just be pop-up stages, but I remember something about every single stage. Every single stage had tape on it, and it said, stage this way or exit that way. We all start with nothing. We all start with no money. We all start with no connections. We all start with no experience. The difference is that some people choose to start anyway, before they feel ready. How about you? You already know what to do. You already have what it takes. It's your choice. Will you take the stage or will you exit? Today, someone's life will begin to transform. Will it be you?
That was awesome.
Thank you so much.
You started talking about your book, and that's my thing. So as you go down the rabbit hole of book, I'm thinking, all right, what can I steal from him, right? Because as we know, stealing from others is what do they say? Stealing from one person is plagiarism, but stealing from everybody is research.
It's all good.
It's all research, right? Yep. But then I even wrote down the ghostwriter you were talking about and that journey. So everything you were saying was speaking to me, and I am guilty of all that you were talking about. So for someone like me, right? How do we implement it day one? Because people listening and watching are probably like, man, those are 10 great ideas, and then they're gonna watch the next YouTube video and then forget about it.
Yep.
What do we need to do?
Yeah, 2 things. 1, unsubscribe from everything in your inbox, except for Young Guns. Okay?
Okay.
So unsubscribe from everything because you get sucked in every single time.
Yeah.
They know what to do. The other thing is, think of a doctor when they prescribe medication. They say 21 days, take it for 30 days, whatever. You don't do it for 1 day and stop. So here's my point. Start with the U zone. I don't care if you know what to do in the U zone. I don't care about any of that. But if you schedule 3 U zones a week for 21 straight days, after 21 days, you will not be able to live your life without a U zone. I promised you that.
60 minutes per?
60 minutes.
So
90 minutes if you're going to start with some other. I want 60 minutes of deep work. That's all I'm saying.
So 60 minutes, 3 times a week.
Yep.
Put it in your calendar.
Yep.
And do the thing.
Exactly.
Whatever the thing is you do, even sit down with no agenda, like you said, start with $0 and no ideas. But you have nothing to do but sit with yourself for 60 minutes.
Yep. And here's the last thing I'll add to that is that we're wired to grow and develop. And what I found is that if I just wake up and I start my day around 8 o'clock, I'm living everybody else's agenda, right? But when I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, that's where the creation works. That's where I feel like I'm becoming something. I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm creating. I'm different than I was yesterday. When I didn't do that, I wasn't different than I was yesterday. I was the same all the time.
All right, perfect. He'll be linked and commented and all the good stuff, so you can find him. Derek, absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Now let's go on and execute.
Thank you so much.
Thanks to Derek for taking this stage. Now, are you or someone you know ready to take this stage? Help us feature the best speakers around by heading to YoungGunsMovement.com and applying to appear in the show. Apply now and you or someone you know could be featured on an upcoming episode. YG Stage is sponsored by Fleet Farm, Health Payment Systems, and Circle Electric. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow Young Guns Movement on social media to stay tuned with new content coming your way. I'm your host, Andy Weins, President of Greenham Solutions. Thanks for joining us.